one thing, I wanted to play professional baseball one day. I knew at the back end, deep down in my heart, in the back of my mind, that professional baseball was my goal ever since I was 3 or 4 years old. And for each one of you, I'm assuming that that was your gift, that was your goal, that was your dream when you first started playing the game. 3-2 count, bases juiced, bottom 9, game 7 of the World Series. Like, those are the dreams that we relive as little kids playing this game, and then we get to college or professional baseball. And sometimes we forget about how big of a blessing and opportunity that we have every single day. Right? Every single day. And so for me, the real journey really hit my sophomore season. Middle of sophomore season, we're in the Mountain West Conference. We had pretty good competition at the time, and I remember leading the league in home runs. I'm beating Aaron Judge. I'm killing it. I'm so pumped. I've got opportunities to go play for Team USA that following summer. If that doesn't go through, the backup plan is the Cape Cod League. So 2 really good opportunities for me as a sophomore. I know that I'm going to get drafted that junior year. It's just a matter of where. And how can I increase and enhance my draft stock at the time? That's all my mind was made up on. Was becoming a professional athlete, signing for a lot of money, buying a sweet new truck because that was the dream, and then going up, working up the big leagues, right? The picture-perfect ladder that we think is our journey. And so when I get through that sophomore season, about halfway through, towards the end of April, we're playing, we're competing, all of a sudden I get this shooting pain down my left leg. I have no idea where it's coming from. All of a sudden I just can't walk. I'm limping up the stairs, looking like Uncle Scrooge, holding on to the side. I can barely even move. I'm playing third base at this time. And I can't move to third base, I got a peg leg. I'm just sitting there, standing there, just getting worn out. And so a friend, at the time I thought was a friend, but a teammate came up to me and said, Byler, look man, like I've got something to help you, right? I've got something to help you get through the rest of the season so you can go achieve these opportunities that you want to achieve one day. And so I had two decisions to make at that time. Number one was sit out, go get surgery, and come back next spring, hoping that all of a sudden my draft stock grows and I get the opportunity to go play pro ball, and the rest is history. Or number two, I can mask my physical pain at the time with prescription medication just to get through the games, right? Just to get on the field, because the ego creeps in as a college athlete. We've got the ego, and I believe it helps us a lot, but sometimes it gets in our way. Right? Sometimes it allows us to make the wrong decisions, right? The wrong decisions. So I got these 2 opportunities, these 2 choices that I can make, and as a 19-year-old college athlete who's ready to get drafted and wants to go pursue his dreams of playing professional baseball, I choose the latter. I choose to use prescription medication, painkillers, to mask the physical pain at the time just to get through the game. Starts with 1, then it goes to 2, 3, 4, 5. And what I didn't know at the time was this became a habit. Right? Just like anything else in life, it became a habit, a daily ritual for me, just to get on the field. So on the field, I was one person, but off the field, I was a totally different dude. A totally different dude. My actions weren't aligning with my words. I wasn't who I said I was, and I felt this deep, just agonizing pain in my heart for a couple of years, or for 5 years. Right? So I go through that sophomore season, I come back junior year, and it's draft year. I go to the Cape Cod League that summer. Thankfully, we won the championship. Right? It was an awesome experience, beautiful place to play. And I come back that next year like on cloud 9, ready to go. Hey, everything's in the past, over with, we're done with. It's moving on, new league. Let's make this dream happen. And what I didn't realize is by taking that one pill back in April of 2012 or 2013, is that addiction continued to lead up. Day after day, day after day, day after day. And eventually I wouldn't be able to stand up here and speak or even step on the baseball field without using something just to get me on that field. I'd assume most of us aren't doing something like that, but I guarantee you somebody on your team is struggling with some sort of addiction. Somebody at your high school is struggling with addiction. Somebody in your family may have been struggling with some sort of addiction or some sort of stronghold that was just holding them back from being their true selves. Right? I call it a limiting belief. Right? Something that's just preventing us from taking that next step in our life and our career and being the person that God meant us to be. And so I go through this experience where I come back that junior season, crush it statistically, lead the league in homers. I put up all these great numbers. I ended up getting drafted. Right? The Nationals called in the 8th round. I called and I answered. I said, look, I'm not signing. I'm going back to school. Jay Johnson, he's now at LSU. He was our head coach for those 2 years, and just a great environment to play. I was like so mentally free. I loved it. And so I told them no. And they called back in the 9th round and they drafted me anyway. Said, hey, look, you're the best available. We got to draft you. I've got to draft you. So I go on, decide to go back to school, go into that senior season, crush through it again. Stats look great, right? The results on the outside look amazing. But the same addiction's been festering up for a long time. It's been 2 years now. I'm hanging around the same people, making the same mistakes, making the same choices that I didn't realize then would affect my future. Get drafted by the Diamondbacks. childhood dream. It was absolutely incredible. I'm so pumped up. I remember walking down the stairs with my laundry. It's day 3 of the draft. On this time, I'm over the draft because I've spent 2 years of this mental war within myself on draft day. You think a draft day is the best day ever, and for me, it was like the worst day I've ever had. Like, man, all these expectations, people telling me things that aren't aligning with what I'm seeing on the pages and everything. And so for me, I go through that experience and I sign with Diamondbacks, right? New league, game over, we're done with it, right? New opportunities, new blessings, new beginnings. And I go through that first season. I lead the Pioneer League, Missoula, Montana. We got viewed up here, and so got to go to Missoula, Montana. So similar to up here, a little bit similar. And I crushed it, lead the league in homers. We win the championship game. I'm an all-star, right? Top 20 prospect. And I'm just on the fast track to the big leagues. I'm thinking next year I'm starting in high A. In my head, I've got this ladder mapped out for my career. High A, double A, triple A, big leagues. Paul Goldschmidt, move on. It's all good, baby. I'm taking your spot, right? I was so determined and so just dead focused on that goal. But what I didn't realize is that my actions on the field weren't aligning with my actions off the field. The person I was on the field was totally different than who I was off the field. And for each one of us in here, you can relate. Whether it's yourself or somebody else, or if I'm a coach, same thing. Sometimes they don't always align. And so I get through that season, I get invited to instructs. And instructs is where the top 20 prospects of every organization come back, and you get to go compete for another 4 weeks. Like an extended spring training or an extended season, right? And so I go into there, and it's about halfway through. I'm having a great extended, and I'm loving it, right? I'm so close to making that dream come true, right on the verge. And the third base coach from the Arizona Diamondbacks, Tony Parashchiga, standing at the door of the Arizona Diamondbacks complex. Glasses down, clipboard in hand, and he's giving everybody a nux on the way in. I'm like, nux. I just had a good game, so I'm pumped. I'm fired up to go back in there. Let's go. Shower, get on with the day, go home, chill out for a little bit. And so he stops at me, and at the nux, doesn't give me a nux, and says, Byler, you got to come to my office for a second. I need to talk to you. And so I'm sitting here thinking, talk to me, right? It's either one, really good, or one, really bad, right? It's only one of the two. There's nothing in between when coach says, hey, we need to talk to you, right? It looks serious. I walk into his office. The GM of the scouting department, Mike Bell, unfortunately passed away recently, God rest his soul, but was in there with him. They're both sitting down in front of me, and I walk into the room, I sit down, and immediately my heart just sinks. I'm like, what's going to happen here? This is not good news. I can get the read. I got the pulse. And they sit me down and they said, look, Byler, we're sorry to inform you, but you failed the drug test. You're going to miss the first 50 games of the next season. First 50 games. You get 140 in minor league baseball. Right, 140. He says, you're going to miss a third of the season. You're not going to start in Visalia, which was high at the time. You're not going to go on and do these things. You're not going to do this. We're going to keep you here in extended spring training, which if anybody has the chance to play in extended spring training, send some prayers your way. I mean, it's tough, right? It's different. You're in Arizona and it's end of May, early June. It's not very pleasant heat-wise, right? So I go into this experience and my heart sinks. I got to call my girlfriend at the time. I got to call my mom, my dad, my coaches. I'm sitting here like, man, I don't even know what to do. Who am I? Right? Who am I? For 5 years, I've been making the same decision. For 5 years, I've been making the same choices off the field. For 5 years, I thought I was invincible. And eventually, the decisions that we make as a high school or a college athlete are going to eventually catch up with us. Right? One day they're going to catch up with us. And for me, I had no idea about that. I thought I could just keep doing the same exact things and get away with the same exact results because I was having success. I was having success on the field. There was no shortage of results or production on that field. So going through my story, the next 2 years, right? The next 2 years, mental turmoil. I start, the prescription drug abuse increases, lose my identity, I don't know who I am, tired of baseball, I start resenting the game. Some of us maybe feel like that today. We're like, man, I've got 3 off days and I'm spending them here. I could be home with the family, I could be somewhere else. Right? So embracing the journey and the opportunities that come your way through the experience that you guys get, not only this week, but through the rest of the summer, into the fall, into your spring, and wherever life takes you. Right? Embracing your journey and welcoming the different experiences that are going to come to our life. So for me, that happens, right? The off the field happens, the tragedy happens. In 2018, I retired from baseball, get released, try indie ball for a month, wasn't my thing, and said, hey, something's different, right? Something's different. I need to make a change. I need to make a change. And thankfully, I've heard a lot of the Lord in here, and Fellowship with Christian Athletes guy came up to me and said, look, you're going to come to a Bible study. I said, I don't go to Bible study. I don't know what that is. There's no way. I'm not going to burn walking into the Bible study. You know what I've done? You know exactly what just happened recently? And he says, dude, come on in. And I sit down, and there's big leaguers, there's minor leaguers, there's coaches, there's GMs, there's all these different guys. Right? There's a male Bible study, and they're all vulnerable with their stories. I'm like, man, people need to hear this. Right? People need to hear this. So in September of 18, we started Major League University to help athletes like you and programs like you not only develop mental skills, right, but leadership and character that can take you further in life when you're done with the game. When you're in the game, when you're in the thick of it, when you're in the journey, you don't always see the lessons that you're learning. You don't see the experiences that you're going through as opportunities, because it's all found in how many hits did I get today? How many times did I strike out? Did the adjustments I worked on in pregame BP at 1 o'clock for a 7 o'clock game actually work? How's my velo program? How am I commanding the zone today? As a coach, right, there's a lot of coaches still. Where am I going next year? COVID just banged all the camps, hard to make money. Where am I going to school? Or where am I going to be coaching? Doing what I love. So for each one of us, I want to give you 3 different models that we live by, and that I've lived by throughout my entire life, but more importantly, since baseball ended. Right, since baseball ended. So for each one of us, maybe we have a dream to go start a business. Or maybe we want to start a business one day. Maybe we just want to be a teacher and go coach and give back, or start an organization in our hometown. So for me, the 3 main pillars that truly just stick out for the rest of our life. Number 1, the most important, keep showing up. Keep showing up. You never know what can happen when you just show up. Give you a story. We're in Klamath Falls, Oregon, right? Chuck and Myers, shout out. It was awesome experience, right? The host families, we all have it. And we're 2-18. Right? We're 2-18. So we're in summer baseball, we're 2-18. I'm freaking, I don't even know, 15-hour drive from home. I'm like, man, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. There's all these bugs around here. I'm getting bit every night. I got bit last night too. Like, they're all over, right? It was crazy. And we're 2-18, and one of my mentors now, and he's still one of my favorite mentors, this guy's incredible, sits us down and reads us a Dr. Seuss book. Right? Dr. Seuss book says, oh, the places you'll go. Right? The places you'll go. And we're like, dude, why are you reading us this Dr. Seuss book when we're 2-18? Like, we need some new players. Like, Chuck, come on, man. Somebody get some help. I don't know what's going on here. And he read us that book and sat us down as a team. And we went through it, right? Each little section in there, all the places that you go, all the places that you see, all the people that you meet. And it really clicked to us that this was more than just baseball. This was more than just a summer league. Right? This was an opportunity to meet new people, to meet new mentors, coaches, friends, family, who eventually are going to help us in the future. And that we can continue, maybe you can show up to our wedding one day. Right? So all these amazing experiences, they never happen, number 1, if we don't keep showing up. You might feel tired right now. I guarantee you do feel tired. I know exactly how your body's feel. I know exactly the mental state that we might be in, and the mental fatigue, knowing that we have a whole other half of the season, and there's no off days on that schedule for a little while, right? It gets very challenging to maintain that mindset when you step onto the field of mental clarity. It's really, really hard, because life throws a lot of things at us, right? Maybe it's not my on the field that's affected right now, but maybe there's something off the field at home, whether it's the COVID, whether it's cancer, whether it's something with my family that's affecting what's going on at home. And my attention is distracted. Right? So where my attention goes, my energy flows always in life. What I place my attention on, where I place my focus, is where my energy is going to go. So am I focused on the Tinder, on the swiping, and all the sweet small towns I get to go to? Or am I focused on my career, on my development, and on my dream that I have, that I want to accomplish? Right? That I want to accomplish. So number 1, keep showing up. Number 2, new beginnings bring new blessings. Right? New beginnings bring new blessings. A lot of the times when a chapter closes, it's one of the hardest moments for us. There's some guys in here who are 5th-year seniors, right, who have worked their tails off, who've gone through the ringer, who've been grinding for years. Maybe haven't seen the success that we wanted to see, and now we're starting to find it. There's first-year freshmen popping up here, and guys going into college next year that are here for the first time. That's your first experience to what it might be like to play at a high-level college, or maybe professional baseball one day. If that's my dream and that's my goal, and if I'm going to commit and sacrifice everything I have to make that dream come true. But new beginnings, right? Maybe a new game, a new opportunity, maybe a new change of scenery for me or my team or where I'm at can bring new blessings to us as well. And when your career ends, your life finally starts. So many times as athletes, we find our identity in what we do. I'm 3 for 3 on the day. I'm the best. I'm the king of the world. I'm going into BJ's or Texas Roadhouse. I'm crushing some food. I feel great. I walk on campus. I'm the big man, I got the chest out, shoulders back, I'm swagging, I'm my J's on, I'm having a great time. And then we go 0 for 3, and it's like, where did that go? What happened? I feel worthless. I feel like I have to make all these adjustments. I feel like I have to change all these things. I feel like I might even need to change schools. I'm going all over the place, but the mental war that we play with sometimes is only hurting us, fellas. It's only hurting us in our future and our chances of making that dream come true. So for me, the new beginnings, right? Every time we step onto the field is a new day. Every time we step out into the cage is a new opportunity. Every time that I go through my bullpen or go through my arm care program is a new opportunity for me to grow and to get better, right? And more importantly, off the field. We forget about the off the field as athletes a lot because we're so dead focused on where we want to go. But the off the field as well, right? Embracing those experiences that each one of us get to have. This is a blessing to be here. It's amazing. And the last one, this might be one of my favorite ones, and you gotta forgive me for a little bit. I got 2 nephews, right? One's 3.5. He just started t-ball and he's horrible. He's awful. I'm like, dude, you need the swing man, you need the kinetic chain, baby. Come on, start wrapping it up, right? Get back to all the adjustments we're making. But he'll go out there and, miss the ground ball, right? It's 10 out of 10 misses. He never makes it. Right through his legs, looks at it, chucks his glove down, chucks his hat, and sits down. He just sits there. And it's sort of pouting, right? And it's the funniest thing to watch. But as a young kid, think about if you guys have any younger brothers and sisters, or maybe you have some nephews, maybe you just remember when you were young, but everything that we see, the very first thing that we say is, wow, wow, the mountains, wow, the hats, wow, the field. I'm walking into the field yesterday, my Lansing field, and I walk in, I'm like, wow, this is sweet. This is summer yard. I get to play here for the summer. You're telling me it's been a couple of months here? Some of our college programs don't even look that good, right, the field. So the third one is live in the wow. And I get that from the young kids, from watching my nephews. Everything they see is, wow, the Tonka truck, right? The monster trucks, the cars passing by on the freeway, the baseball, the glove, the experience, the sun, nature, living in the wow. We get so warped to just think single-mindedly, right? We're so focused on our goal. We're so focused on baseball, and that's okay. You guys got a dream that you want to achieve. I'm all for it. Keep doing, keep pushing, keep going. But the fact of the matter is, maybe 5% of us in here might play professional baseball one day. Maybe 5%. If we're lucky, 10%. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope everybody makes it and gets the chance. But the odds are that only a few of us in here are going to get the chance to step on that field. And when you step onto that field in professional baseball, it turns from fun and pleasure to a job. It turns from, I get to play 3 games on a weekend and have a Sunday starter who's pretty blue and throwing meatballs, or I've got 7 dudes in 7 days who are disgusting and some of the best players in the entire country. And by the way, the Dominican, Venezuela, Mexico, Japan, right, Taiwan, everywhere else that's fighting for the same spots that we're fighting for right here, right now. So when we do get tired, when we do get burnt out, when we do feel like, man, we're hopeless, like this is the worst thing that's ever, when we start resenting baseball, because at some point we start to resent it after a long season. Remind yourself, live in the wow. Right? What would a little kid do? When a little kid steps on that field, I guarantee you they look at you and look you in your eyes and go, man, I want to be in that position one day. Each one of those little kids, seen them play wiffle ball yesterday, just playing kids games, man. Never forget what it means to be a kid. I don't know if anybody here has been watching the NBA Finals, but the Phoenix Suns are finally in the finals. And I'm let's go ahead and shout it out. It's officially a 4-week fan now. I've been a fan for 4 weeks. Right? But I'm getting a lot of truths from Giannis Williams. Right? That guy's just incredible. He's blowing up on Twitter. But Chris Paul said something very important, right? This dude's 36 or 38. He's like 5'5" in the NBA. He's been killing it for years, right? The dude's small. He's playing against guys like Giannis who are 7 foot and yoked. Like this dude is just barely even scraping by, but he had to scrap to get what he wanted and to stay in the league for that long. Right? Very clever, very shifty. It's fun to watch. But he said something very important that stuck out to me in a post-game interview in the semifinal game, one of the semifinal games. They asked him, hey, what are you guys doing differently this series? What are you guys doing different today? Like, you changed your approach? He said, look guys, like to the media, he said, sometimes we forget that we're playing a kid's game. Forget that we're playing a kid's game. I remember back to when you were in Little League, or when you were playing wiffle ball with your friends at 8 years old, or when you were just fighting in t-ball even, right? You're just first learning how to swing. You're playing a kid's game. And over time, for whatever reason, we play it so often that it becomes a grind. And we look at baseball as a grind instead of an opportunity. Something that I have to do instead of something that I get to go do every single day of my life. And there's millions of people, your age or similar, that would love to be in your position today. who would die to be in one of your chairs, to be here in Casper, Wyoming, to have the opportunity to step on that field tonight and just compete. Right? No expectations needed, just compete. The last thing, what is our purpose and why do we play the game? And I don't just play because I love baseball. I love baseball too. Right? I'll give you the example. The reason why I play, my younger brother, I'm the oldest of six, 3 of them adopted, right? 3 adopted brothers and sisters. I'm the oldest. And one of them, he's 19 now, right? He's almost 19, he'll turn 19 soon. He's autistic, right? So he never had the opportunity to go play the game that he loved. But he freaking loved baseball. He wanted to be on the field. And so he would be our bat boy in Nevada. He would be our bat boy in pro ball sometimes when they would come on the road. And we'd just get him kind of plugged in, get him involved, get him kind of doing some things. And he could never step onto that field and do what we can do. He can't swing a bat like we can swing it or throw a ball like we can swing it. But the attitude that he plays with, the attitude that he operates with, and the joy that he has in his life, just stepping on that field, right? Who are we playing for? So for me, I play for him. And now speaking, right, I speak for him because he might not have the voice to be able to change people's hearts or change people's lives. So remember why you do what you do. What is the purpose? And not just because I love you, right? But really, what am I trying to accomplish? Who am I trying to become on this journey? And what type of man am I becoming through these experiences that I might be going through as a young man, 18 to 23 years old. 18 to 23. The last thing, fellas, the very last thing, and then we'll get you guys on your way. Never lose that belief in yourself. It's a long road. It's a long road. Right? You're going to go through new coaches. You're going to go through coaches you don't like, the coaches that you do like. You're going to have a boss that you love and a boss that you hate. You might go into the corporate world and find out that it's not for you because it wasn't for me. I don't like being pinned down. I like to move. I like to be free. And so you're going to find these things along your life that might be little speed bumps that might get in the way. And sometimes we make it look like this massive mountain or boulder that I can't move and I can't shift around. Never lose that belief in yourself because at the end of the day, it's you versus you. At the end of the day, you only have yourself. I can't come help you on the field. Coach can't come help you. Mom and dad can't come help you. Girlfriend can't come help you. But you can help yourself. Right? But you can also hurt yourself. So let's be our own best friends. Let's have our own best self-talk and be our own best coaches. Not only when we're on that field, but when we're in life. Because that's when life really hits. Right? That's when life really hits. Your identity is never found in the game. It's found in who you are, how you treat people, and how you operate every single day of your life. You guys with me on that? Other than that, fellas, congratulations. This is a blessing to be here. We're super juiced and excited, man. It's been awesome. If you ever need anything at all, reach out. Right? Find our info, reach out, send Chuck out, boom, we'll get a phone call in, text, whatever you guys need along the journey as you guys go back to your schools. Embrace this last part of the summer, fellas. It's an awesome experience. You go to some great places that you'll remember for the rest of your life. We might not see it now, but we're going to see it in about 5-10 years. It's the best experience of your life. Other than that, good luck, fellas. Have fun.